Welcome to Learning with UNP. In this session of Python for Data Science, we are going to understand about tuple methods. That includes understanding about update, add or join, remove, and finally unpacking of tuples. Let's begin with understanding about update method. Since tuples are immutable, you cannot directly update an element. However, you can convert the tuple to a list, update the list, and convert it back to a tuple. To update an element in a tuple, the tuple must first be converted into a list because tuples are immutable and do not support direct item assessment. This is done using the list function. Once converted, the element at the desired index in the list can be changed by assigning a new value to that index. After making the update, the list is then converted back into a tuple using the tuple function. This process allows you to leverage the mutability of list to update tuple elements while preserving the tuple's immutable nature overall. Here is the syntax of it. To update an element within a tuple, we first convert the tuple into a list using list function. Then we can directly modify the desired element in the list. Once updated, we convert the list back into a tuple using tuple function, effectively preserving the immutability of tuples while allowing for the temporary alteration of their contents through list manipulation. Let's look at the pseudocode representation of it. Step 1. Initialize a tuple variable myTuple means start by creating a tuple named myTuple to hold your data. Step 2. Convert the tuple to a list and assign it to temp list means convert the tuple myTuple into a list and store it in a temporary list variable called temp list. Step 3. Update the desired element in temp list means modify the desired element within the temp list to update its value. Step 4. Convert temp list back to a tuple and assign it to myTuple means convert this modified list temp list back into a tuple and assign it to the variable called myTuple. This restores the immutability of tuple while reflecting the updated element. This example demonstrates how to effectively update an element within a tuple using list conversion and reassignment. In this example, we start with a tuple called myTuple containing various data types. Initially, we print the original tuple to display its content. Next, we convert myTuple into a list named temp list to facilitate element modification. We update the element at index 1 of temp list to replace the string hello with the integer 4. After updating, we convert temp list back into a tuple and assign it to myTuple. Finally, we print the modified tuple to show the updated element. Let's execute this and check. As discussed, here is the output. Second comes add or join method. Adding elements or joining elements to a tuple also involves creating a new tuple, as tuples cannot be modified after their creation. This can be achieved by concatenating the original tuple with another tuple containing the new elements. The result is a new tuple that includes both the original elements and the additional ones. Here is the syntax of it. We have a tuple named myTuple containing some initial elements. We create another tuple called newElement with additional elements. We concatenate myTuple with newElement using the plus operator or addition operator. This concatenation results in a new tuple which we then assign back to myTuple. Let's look at the pseudocode representation of it. Step 1. Initialize a tuple variable myTuple means start with a tuple named myTuple to hold your initial elements. Step 2. Create a new tuple with the element to add means create a new tuple, new element containing the elements you want to add. Step 3. Concatenate the original tuple with the new tuple means combine myTuple and new element using the addition operator to create a new tuple with all the elements. Step 4. Assign the result to myTuple means assign this new tuple back to myTuple to reflect the addition of elements. Here is an example demonstrating add or join method. We start with a tuple named myTuple containing letters A, B, C and D. Two additional tuples, tuple 1 and tuple 2 are created with numbers. We concatenate tuple 1, myTuple and tuple 2 using the addition operator. This concatenation creates a new tuple where tuple 1 elements appear first, followed by myTuple elements and then tuple 2 elements. Finally, we print the result my tuple, which contains all the elements from three original tuples combined using the print statement. Let's execute this and check. As discussed, here is the output. Third comes remove method. To remove an element from a tuple, you follow a similar process of converting the tuple into a list since tuple do not support item removal. Using the list function, the tuple is converted into a list. The list remove method is then used to delete the specific element. After the element is removed, the list is converted back to a tuple using the tuple function. Here is the syntax of it. We start with a tuple named myTuple containing elements 1, 2, and 3. To remove a specific value from the tuple, we convert myTuple into a mutable list using list function. After removing the element, we convert the modified list temp list back into a tuple using tuple function, effectively restoring its immutability. Now, myTuple holds the updated tuple with the specified value removed. Let's look at the pseudocode representation of it. Step 1. Initialize a tuple variable myTuple means start with a tuple named myTuple. Step 2. Convert the tuple to a list and assign to temp list means convert myTuple into a list and store it in temp list. Step 3. Remove the desired element from temp list means use the remove method to delete the desired element from temp list. Step 4. Convert temp list back to a tuple and assign to myTuple means convert this modified list temp list back into a tuple and assign it to myTuple. This preserves the immutability of tuples while reflecting the removal of specified element. This example demonstrates how to remove an element from a tuple using list conversion and reassignment. In this example, we start with a tuple called myTuple containing various data types. Initially, we print the original tuple. Then, we convert myTuple into a mutable list temp list. Using the remove method, we delete the floating point number 3.14 from temp list. After removal, we convert the temp list back into a tuple called myTuple. Finally, we print the modified tuple which no longer contains the removed element using the print statement. Let's execute this and check. As discussed, here is the output. Finally, let's look at unpacking. Unpacking refers to the process of assigning the elements of a tuple to individual variables. This permits easy extraction and assignment of values from a tuple into separate variables. The number of variables on the left side of the assignment must match the number of elements in the tuple. Unpacking simplifies the process of working with tuple elements by enabling direct access and assignment in a single operation. This particular code mentioned here demonstrates how unpacking simplifies the process of assigning tuple elements to separate variables in a single operation, enhancing readability and convenience. We have a tuple named myTuple containing elements 1, 2, and 3. Using unpacking, we assign each element of myTuple to individual variables a, b, and c. After unpacking, a will hold the value 1, b will hold the value 2, and c will hold the value 3. Let's look at the pseudocode representation of it. Step 1. Initialize a tuple variable myTuple means start by creating a tuple named myTuple with the desired elements. Step 2. Assign the elements of the tuple to multiple variables means assign the elements of the tuple to multiple variables in a single operation. Each variable receives one element from the tuple. Lastly, here is an example illustrating how unpacking simplifies the process of assigning tuple elements to separate variables, making it easier to work with individual values. In this example, we initialize a tuple named myTuple containing elements 1, welcome, 9.99. Using unpacking, we assign each element of myTuple to individual variables a, b, and c. We then print the values of a, b, and c, which displays 1, welcome, 9.99 respectively using print statements. Let's execute this and check. As discussed, here is the output. This is all about today's lecture. See you in the next lecture. Thank you.